Writing is more than putting words on paper. It's the craft of pulling the reader into your story, giving them a connection to the story, and making them care about the characters. It's not easy, it's not neat. It's a process. These are some of the ways we do it.
The seaweed feels like a moss hair in my hand. It smells like salt. The water is gorgeous as it crashes on shore. The sand in between my toes makes me jump and giggle. I hear the seagulls calling for food. Suddenly a dog was in danger. Show don't tell is when you don't tell the reader, you show it.
When you just don't come right out and tell what you're doing, you show it in your story.
You show the reader what the character is feeling.
I was scared or something like that. I screamed in horror.
Ring ring, I picked up the phone. Someone was calling.
If I were to say I was happy, I would rather show it by saying I have a big smile on my face. I'm happy, you could say my heart was beating, or I jumped up in the air and gasped.
You're not saying tired. You're saying like the sweat falls to the ground and you're breathing hard like that.
Like I was scared, I screamed in terror.
Show and tell about hungry. My stomach was growling and I am holding my stomach.
It's like when you when you write something down but you don't like come right out and say it, you want the reader to think about what you're writing and you're not telling them.
Click. The puck dropped and the second period started. My main focus was to play defense because we had the lead. I was on the ice when suddenly the other team's players started skating super fast up the ice. Now it's a 2-on-1. He passed and they scored. Now it's 1-to-1.
Lead that grab is like a starting of a story and it like wants you to read more of the story. A lead that grab is something that grabs the reader's attention. Like for example, I shivered as I grabbed my arms and held them against me. Because if you didn't have a lead that grabs, you wouldn't really want to read the story.
A lead that grabs is when, at the beginning of the story, that it makes the reader want to read more about the story.
How can I end up in a swamp? It is so weird that I went to the Be Alive one. Then I heard a roar sound. I was so scared that I screamed so loud that the alligator came out of the swamp and roared so loud that my eardrums burst open.
Sparkle words are words that you don't usually hear. Like instead of saying I'm hungry, you could say I am starving.
Instead of crying, you can say sobbing or whimpering.
You could use gigantic instead of big. Instead of look, you do gazed or peered.
Running, sprinting.
Sparkle words are like something that are words that you don't normally use, and they like make your writing like more interesting for the reader.
Sparkle words are something to replace boring words into fun words.
Sparkle words is when you use another word to make the story sound more interesting.
I was at home while my mom and stepdad and my little brother were out, but I heard a car/truck. I ignored it. But then there were footsteps followed by the phone ringing. I answered, but I could only hear breathing. Stick to one topic is when you use like one story, and then you don't change it to like a different, like something else.
You can have two or more topics in a story, but it would have been better to stick to one.
And stick to one topic is when you're talking about playing outside, you would stick to that topic, not keep on going about a different one. It would be like, it wouldn't really make sense if you just made it changing every single time. Sticking to one topic might be hard for some people because they might go off and do another story or write about something else when they're writing about one thing. A shopping list story is when you're talking about a game, then you go to sleep, and then you wake up and drink coffee, and then you go to school. Like, you just keep on getting different topics and not explain about one. Sticking to one topic is like when you don't write like a shopping list story, like you don't name things and list them down. You only talk about one thing.
Go ahead.
Have you ever broken a bone? I have. I was in grade primary, and it was a hot day. I was playing on the monkey bars. I reached for the bar, and I missed. I felt my heart beating as I landed on my arm. My arm, I screamed as loud as I could. A duty teacher peered at me and ignored me. I felt like a nobody. I walked up to the duty teacher as tears dripped down my face, and I kept repeating, "I can't move my arm."
Every story has to have a problem to make it more interesting.
You need a problem in your story because, well, it makes the story interesting and kind of one reader wants to read more of the story.
Well, a problem keeps a story going and you got something to write about.
If there was a story without a problem, then there wouldn't be a point of the story.
My problem was there's this kid named DJ. He loves music. All he wants is a guitar, but his family hates music, so he has to figure out how to do that.
DJ is a normal kid. He goes to a normal school with normal friends. He's a month away from 12. All he wants is a Wolfgang guitar for his birthday. But there's one problem. His family hates music. His family hated since the cavemen. And he's going to change that rule, but he didn't know how.
Quotation marks are to help the reader to tell them when someone's talking or if there's a new person talking.
Hey, what are you doing? Then there should be quotation mark in front of hey and after what are you doing?
Dialogue and quotation mark. So for when the character is speaking.
Paragraphing is when you talk about one thing, say you're talking about a dog, and then you move on to a different character. That's you make a paragraph in between of those.
Paragraph, you use paragraph so the reader could read more easily.
A satisfying conclusion is when be satisfied of what you left the reader with, but at the same time want to read more.
When you solve the problem, it will be a good ending.
Well, you can make a happy ending, like a lot of people do, but you can also make a sad ending.
That's it, really. I didn't have enough time to write everything.
What's that means?
Yeah, I know what it means, but my legs are shaking so bad.
Wait a second there. You know that's going to be slideshow.
Wait, this is gonna